That's a good intro. Wait, is someone there? Ah, yes. I forgot. Hello and welcome to my lecture about various Deltarune theories I have. Before I begin, I just wanted to say a few things. First off, yes, I'm using text-to-speech because my mic broke. I'm also using this because this video is inspired by Halfbreadchaos, who, if you don't know, uses text-to-speech to make theory videos, some being about Undertale and Deltarune. So yeah, please don't leave hate comments for using text-to-speech. Now let's get this all underway. Let's start off by talking about Chris. In my chapters 3 and 4 video, I said that Chris was called a cage, but this is only half true. Sure, Chris is a cage for the soul, but the soul restricts Chris just as much. During a normal chapter 4 run, when the soul is moving around the vents, Chris can be seen going to the piano and playing some absolute heat, as the kids say. Throw in the fact that in chapter 4's weird route, the soul takes control of Chris to do stuff to no L. There's even Azrael. Whenever the player tries to learn anything about Chris's brother, Chris gets in the way. They're pretty effective at it too. I'll prove it. In this quiz in chapter 3, what answer did you choose? I know I chose the green dinosaur during my first playthrough. Or what about here in chapter 2? Did you want to close your eyes? Because I didn't. Okay, I'll get back to Azrael in a moment. For now, let's try to figure out what Chris's deal is. I can see a number of outcomes. 1. Chris is truly just a victim and wants full autonomy, going against the soul no matter the cost. 2. Asgore. During chapter 4, the soul can make it to what I assume is Mayor Holiday's bedroom, where Asgore is pondering over a corkboard filled with red lines and papers. He even name drops the black shard, which either means that there are more than one or Chris showed him their dark shard. Plus, there's even a black knife next to the corkboard. And considering he says old friend, we can assume that he has Rudy Holiday in on this at least. Maybe Chris is part of this too. Third, it's a batter situation. Minor spoilers for a game that came out in 2008 and was recently remastered this year. In Off, you play as yourself as you take control of a character called the Batter. TLDR, the Batter wants to purify the world, and by doing so he kills all of its inhabitants, draining the life and color from the world. Chris could be the Batter. The soul could even be the Batter. And considering the fact that Toby Fox helped work on the music in Off, it isn't surprising that he took inspiration when making Undertale. He may have done the same with Deltarune, but in reverse. Now, let's talk about how the game might end. Deltarune's ending is something that's haunted my mind since chapter 2 was released. I have an inkling though. Throughout Deltarune chapters 3 and 4, we see tension build between Susie and Ralsei over nothing in the dark world being real. Now call me the Mad Hatter because I'm jumping into this rabbit hole to follow the white rum. I mean goat. Deltarune will most likely end via the sealing of every dark fountain. Now before you tell me yeah, that's the whole point of the game, let me tell you one thing. Castletown has a dark fountain. Now this whole purifying the world by purging the darkness completely thing may sound familiar, and that's the point. One of Deltarune's endings could be a bad one where we are the Batter. The good ending could involve a similar resolution, but everyone in town knows about the dark world and every day is an adventure with fountains made and sealed. Maybe one fountain per day perhaps? Then again, this could be a worse ending, but if this happens after the roaring, then I'm sure everyone would know the risk. Neutral endings could involve some people not liking the idea of fountains and thus leading to bigger issues. I feel like now might be a good time to remind you that this is a video making theories about the ending of a game that is only partially complete. I mean, look at the version of the game. Now, are there any questions? Yes?
Why is she here? Isn't she from Undertale Yellow?
Aesthetic choice. And I know that might get confusing, but it's not like I'm insinuating anything.
Deltarune Yellow?
Alright, enough of this. We'll come back to the potential endings later. Who is the knight? I have a few theories. First, we have December Holiday. I like this one because of Snowgrave. You can fill in the blanks. same goes for a more likely candidate, Carol Holiday. She does like swords, and she might be in on whatever Asghar is up to. That's all I have without talking about my next topic. Ralsei is Asriel and Asriel is dead. I'm serious. And I know what you're thinking. Asriel's alive and you're right. A version of Asriel Dreamer is alive. Let me tell y'all about my very first Deltarune theory. I came up with this back when I learned about the weird route. In Undertale's True Pacifist route, the final boss is against Asriel Dreamer, who is just flowy made up of the 6 human souls and every monster soul in the underground, excluding Napstablook of course. And we all know that it's practically impossible to lose this fight. Hell, Frisk can't even die. But killing Frisk isn't Asriel's goal. It's to wipe everyone's memories and reset the timeline. Who's to say the time we won was the first time we won? We may have faced him before, but can't remember. And if Asriel is doing the same thing over and over expecting no change, he's bound to get bored. Asriel either created an alternate reality or he found one. If he made one, then Ralsei is merely a puppet, hence the puppet scarf. If it's another universe entirely, then there'd be 2 Asriel Dreamers. He'd only bring the soul, Frisk's soul with him and make them take control of Chris, who I assume had no soul their whole life. Just look at how Noel describes Chris's voice. The way I see it, Asriel 1, or as I'll call him for simplicity's sake, the angel came to the world and replaced the Asriel that already existed. We've seen with Gerson firsthand that dead monsters can be brought back through the use of dark fountains. And while Ralsei is capable of traveling to various dark worlds, Asriel could have very well been killed and left in the school's closet. Or, he escaped the shelter. Let me ask you something. Do you know what the school's closet is? I think I know. I wouldn't be surprised if it doubles as an emergency entrance to the shelter for students and teachers. It could still double as a closet and even house 2 dark fountains separated by a trapdoor. This could mean sealing Castletown's fountain in order to get into the shelter without starting the roaring. It could even explain Ralsei some more. Asriel escapes the shelter through the school's closet, but the angel kills him and creates a fountain. And since Ralsei is a lonely prince, he could have easily forgotten himself. Or, Ralsei does know, but he doesn't want to worry Chris. Okay, that was a long one, but that leads me to the red herring, December Holiday. A lost girl, Noel's sister. Des. What if December isn't missing? I'll keep it brief, but insightful. We can find army supplies in December's bedroom. Nobody talks about her, and the only one trying to find her besides all Deltarune fans is seemingly Noel. Here's my 2 cents. December leaves to join some form of military without telling anyone, so Noel doesn't worry. She ends up MIA and is declared dead in some war, probably against humans. Rudy and Carol receive news of their daughter's alleged death and they both agree to say nothing about it. Carol seems like the type to do that at least. Now, either the angel got to Des and made her the knight, or the knight is Carol attempting to subvert prophecy by stopping the heroes instead of the villains. I'm not sure how that would work out, but if the angel has a set path for each bead, then perhaps redirecting or even outright halting said path might work. Too bad we as the players are too determined to see this through to the end. We won Jevel's game, freed a puppet from his strings, we got the shadow mantle and caught the knight off guard. We even met up with a great blacksmith to obtain a powerful weapon. That reminds me. Toby is most likely only going to write 6 chapters for Deltarune at most. I'm still serious. If all my other big theories are false, then I'd still argue toward this one. And all we need to do is heed the wise words of an old man. During the Hammer of Justice fight, Gerson tells the tale of the book series Lord of the Hammer, which is a rewrite of the prophecy that was rewritten into the game Dragon Blazers and its sequel. Chapter 1, the heroes defeat the king and stop the dragon. Gerson says Susie reminds him of the dragon, which checks out. The fun gang stops Susie's senseless rampage and defeats the king. Chapter 2, the heroes fight in chariots to save the queen. In other words, fighting on roller coasters and saving Queen from prematurely starting the roaring. Chapter 3, the heroes travel among the islands and catch a glimpse of a lost land. The TV Dark World wasn't always a TV world. It even has glimpses of what it once was before Tenor changed everything. Chapter 4, a great smith gives the heroes a terrible weapon. Justice axe perhaps? Chapter 5, a vast garden is charred in an inferno of jealousy. The festival is gonna be in Chapter 5. Plenty of opportunity for jealousy to occur. Perhaps something between Susie, Noelle, and Chris? Gerson then says that only one more chapter was ever written, but we don't get to see it. The youth, who were tasked with writing the next chapter, never did. Perhaps the prophecy ends at Chapter 6. I'd be willing to bet that Toby is either leaving a red herring here, but I smell shenanigans. I'm willing to bet that we, the fans, will need to truly finish Deltarune's story. So I'll end this by asking you, what do you think happens next?
Deltarune Yellow would be cool to see.
God damn it.